a safe analog meter. And the reason I'm showing that so that your audience understands the difference between the digital and the safe meter. The safe meter looks like a watch with dials on it. You want to retain your safe analog meter at all costs. It is the first device that is going to be put on your homes before they demand that you change out your appliances to all of those with RFID chips in them so they can snoop. This is like inviting a saboteur into the front lines. They're going to be able to monitor everything you do in your home, increase the amperage, turn it up like a thermostat, and be able to tell how you're functioning. This is a global grid. It is so total, absolute, total and complete surveillance, enslavement, and depopulation because people are now getting sick. About 10 to 15% of the population is getting what they call electrically, magnetically sensitive, and they're getting many consequences from that. This is designed to cause harm. On refusesmartmeter.com, we have a military document. Alex, I forwarded that on to you, and you can put that up on your site as well. You can see that it was designed to cause harm through the electromagnetic frequencies of microwave and radiation. And this is a complete scientific tyranny. This is
now, wait a minute. I mean, they put fluoride in the water that's 7-fold bone cancer in men. I mean, and they put GMO that sterilizes the rats. I mean, they wouldn't want to hurt us. These are nice people.
Well, I can tell you, Alex, right now, unbeknownst to most people, we are in a war of frequencies. And people are getting very, very sick. And the variety of illnesses and the number of illnesses that people are getting are so many that no one would really understand that it is from the electromagnetic.
No, I mean, it's from everything, but you're right. No, I mean, they have mainline studies admitting that. I mean, they knew 30 years ago with cell phones what was happening. The brain tumors are exploding. Continue to break down the smart meters, though, because they admit they spy on you and control your house, control your temperature.
Absolutely, they do. In fact, as you said earlier, CIA admitted that that 1 million square foot data center that they're building in Utah is going to collect everything, and they will be spying on us. There will be cameras in our refrigerators. They said in the New World Order Exposed 1969 that we have on our website, and we advise everybody to look at their documents. They told us they would spy on us. They told us everything that is happening was foretold in those documents. And the Iron Mountain report that's up on our site as well, it's a documentary. You can also read the book. It was hatched in the nuclear survival retreat. Took them 4 years.
And by the way, now confirmed to be real. They now admit that is their plan. Go ahead.
Yes, well, of course, they said then it was a hoax, and people would have believed it was a hoax back then because of the level of deception, deceit, and evil. And they said never, ever release it to the American people because it was going to eliminate the Constitution, our Bill of Rights. It was going to take away our guns. Everything that we see happening right now, collapse everything. They are after everything. They want to charge us for the air we breathe and taxes for our exhales. We're here in California. We have jobs fleeing our state right now because of the cap and trade laws that are now being put in place. But I can tell you right now that between the overhead aerial spraying, that the plasma that they're putting up and pumping frequencies into, and the devices of the smart meters on our homes, we are getting frequencies in our environment that our DNA simply cannot tolerate. This is absolutely an insult upon us. It's invisible. They're attacking us with frequencies. We don't see them. We can't taste them or touch them. These are absolutely weapons. We are in a silent war. And this is a life or death battle. They are fully engaged, and we must be fully engaged. As you've said before, Alex, this is Agenda 21, and this will absolutely end everything for all of us, all our freedoms, for all of us, for all times. And under this sustainable agenda, they talk about attaining total monitoring, total measuring, total rationing of everything, all our energy, food, water, housing, transportation, education, absolutely everything. And they base it all on the false lies of needing to reduce our CO2 footprint and reduce CO2 emissions. And when you look at Iron Mountain, you see how they hatched the massive lies of pollution, and they planned it. And it's interesting to see the newsreels in that documentary that were being shown and essentially teaching us what we would end up having to be blamed for. And when I met up with Ted Turner a year ago, he told the whole audience where we were that the global warming is our fault. There's too many people using too much stuff. We're using too much food and too much water. And he went on to say that there will be shortages, massive shortages, and it's going to require depopulation of 95%. 95% depopulation. And then you look at the Wildlands Project map that we have up on our website. And the reason I show that is because they're corralling us into these condensed cities where we're going to have to live, where the electromagnetic and the frequencies are going to get more severe. The many, many people now that are fleeing the cities to get away from all of the frequencies of the cell phone towers, the smart meters, smart grid, will not be able to get away and out of the cities and free themselves of this attack on their systems. And when you look at who is behind the Wildlands Project map, Ted Turner is one of the foundations behind that. This is a massive land grab. They're going to be disorientating and killing people in their homes. They can amp these frequencies up. This is totalitarian. This is a takeover. And when we were searching the definition of totalitarianism, which is absolute total oppression through technologies, we found a very, very interesting photograph in a cemetery in Russia. And I forwarded that on to you, Alex. It is a picture of a robot, and it's called the Moloch of totalitarianism. And it is in a cemetery, and it is a memorial to the victims of oppression. And it is absolutely illustrating how they plan to control absolutely everything. They are striving to regulate every aspect of our lives, control the media, the politics, economy.
I agree with you. They say they want to be like God, and they admit Google is NSA. That's why they want RFID in all the products, so they can track everything in real time. And I remember a Baltimore Sun article 10 years ago that admitted that DARPA was already testing through the cell phone frequencies systems to calm or disorient the public. This is all admitted. I've had with the hundreds of patents, Dr. Begich on, where they had this stuff 30, 40 years ago, and he said, Alex, you're worried about chemicals in the water. He said they are, listen, I've been allowed to see the UT monkey facility. I was allowed to see video feeds of it years ago from a control system within UT, where they had thousands of monkeys and apes just practicing flicker rates to send different codes at the monkeys. And then McBreen's like, I can't believe you just said that. When I was a teenager in Arizona, we went out in the desert to one of the big monkey labs and actually partway went in and looked through and saw these apes hooked up watching televisions with nothing on them, and we didn't know what it was. So, I mean, my point is they admit they're doing this. It's just giant, huge programs on how to kill us.
Absolutely. And it's all plausible deniability because everybody is going to become sick in different ways. Many people initially are having headaches, inability to sleep, irritability, short-term memory loss, heart palpitations, inflammation. It is an attack on everything about it. It is slicing and dicing our DNA, and it is completely weaponized technology, and they know it. On our site, we also have a scientist, Barry Trower, who breaks down the attack of cell phone towers.
Stay there. Amazing. Stay there.
It sounded so good.
All right, folks, coming up at about 40 after, we're going to let our guests go and open the phones up for TSA whistleblowers. I mean, do you think in America you're not allowed to speak out against things that are wrong or going on? Or not even a whistleblower. TSA people, do you like the groping? Or is it your supervisors? I want to give you a chance to call in. It's 800-259-9231. We're about 15 minutes away from going to your calls. 800-259-9231 is the number for TSA whistleblowers. Ladies and gentlemen, it is on record that they are using these systems to surveil us. It is on record in hundreds of studies, some of them going back to the 70s, that they know microwave radiation from the cell phones, massive increase in brain tumors. And that's why I try to use hands-free or whatever. The point is, we're still bathed in all of this. And the system loads Trojan horses, in their own words, onto all of this. So you need to be aware of this. At my house, we don't have wireless out in the country. You know, we've done little things like that. We try to put the cell phones away. And you can just literally feel the difference. I think of being out in the country. When you're in a big city or whatever, you're being bombarded by this stuff. When I'm in here in the studio, I'm being bombarded all around me. You know how much stuff comes off one of these TV monitors? And through television, they can fluctuate the pattern and do different things that you can't even see with your eyes. Going back to our guest, Deborah, continue, please.
Yes, Alex, it's very important, and I'm glad that you said in the country, because many, many people believe that if they're down a dusty, long road, they're not going to get a smart meter. Everybody is intended to get a smart meter, and you must refuse. You must not allow this to be attached to your homes. This is a biohazard. They know it. They admit it in their documents.
Oh.
The military documents show, Alex, that this technology was designed as crowd control. We are the crowd. Everything that is in the Fort Meade military document that is posted on refusesmartmeter.com that talks about the effects of this technology and the illnesses is happening. All the EMF sensitive people are experiencing what this military document says this technology would do, and it is doing it. This is a takedown of privacy, and this is a takedown of our health. We must, right now, prevent these meters from being installed on our homes. Now, here in California, we have an opt-out. The reason that we have an opt-out is it was looking horrible that PG&E and Southern California Edison was, as they call it, deploying these meters against people's wishes when they had doctor's letters and they were feeling sick. This is only a media moment. They are deploying thousands of these meters across America, the rest of the world, every single day, despite the fact that people are getting sick and we are being surveilled. This is an attack. This is what we must stop, and we can stop. Everybody can go outside. Their meters are generally located on the outside of their homes, and they need to see if they've got a smart meter. If they don't, or if they question it, you need to call your utility company immediately. Ask them when they are planning to deploy a smart meter in your area and refuse it. Get signs going. We've put signs on our cars. We put signs on our meters. We've been caging up our meters. We do not want a smart meter. And when the utility companies now, that they are required to take off people's smart meters here in California and put back on analog meters, they're being stealthily deceptive yet again. They're putting on analog meters that are still compatible to the grid. So I know that through freedomtaker.com, people can order safe analog meters. But first, call your utility company if you do have a smart meter and tell them you need to get it off immediately. And if they won't, then you must do it yourselves. This is where we must say no. This is on our homes, and this is coming over our thresholds. We will lose all of our privacy and our health forever. And I have a technocracy illustration where it shows how technocracy, meaning the takeover